Roger Weiland broke the news late last week that Joe Cremo, first-team All-America selection. I always say All-America. America East selection. He's an All-American in a lot of people's books. There's no doubt about that. Joe Cremo would be leaving the UAlbany men's basketball program as a grad transfer, so immediately eligible to play at another school for what will be his senior season, really, but also in a graduate year. And Joe is good enough to join us here on the program. Big Board Sports 104.5, the team, ESPN Radio. Joe, Chris Honorato, Brian Mariano with you here. And I know Friday we had a chance to talk to you TV side, and what was your first TV interview? I'll take it this may be your first radio interview. So for the people who didn't get to see News Channel 13 live at 6 or 11 on Friday night, Joe, I want to go back to the decision itself. And I've heard from a bunch of different people, why would he leave now, and what else is out there for Joe Cremo? So I'll kind of let you take it from there. What went into this decision, Joe, to leave your hometown, one, and two, to seek out a higher level? Yeah,
well, thanks for first off for having me, and I appreciate you guys having me on. And obviously, to start off, I guess, with making my decision, a lot of things went into it. It wasn't just one thing. But, for me, I just wanted to take a chance at the highest level on myself and, find a coach that, hopefully will take a chance on me. Also the fact that, it did suck that, we didn't make the NCAA tournament, 3 years. And a lot of people will see it as he's running away from a championship. He could still get one his senior year. But for me, it's anybody that knows me as like a person, before the player knows it's not a selfish decision. It's just more that, he's trying to take a challenge and, find a spot where he can fit in and compete on the national spotlight. And that's just what it is, really.
Joe Cremo with us here on Big Board Sports 104.5. The team, ESPN Radio, averaged 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists last year as a junior. Again, that first-team America East selection, and 46%, Joe, from three-point range. And look, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not an assistant coach at the college level, so I can't tell you what everybody else is thinking, but I would have to think that number is going to jump out to a lot of coaches across the country when they hear Joe Cremo is available as a grad transfer. Would you consider yourself a three-point shooter?
Yeah. It's funny just because now it's on a lot of scouting reports and stuff oh, he's a shooter. And my entire life, it's always been about, getting in the lane and getting people shots. And, in high school I didn't really, have to shoot that many threes. And, now I have to shoot more and be able to make shots on people. And, it's just a bunch of stuff that goes into it that I'm just trying to advance my game with, each and every day. But with the shooting, it's just, for me, it's just all about, confidence, next shot, and that mentality. I've just been working on it for years now, and this past year was, a good year for me. And like you said, that number does stick out to a lot of coaches out there that have reached out to me. And, but at the same time, I'm trying to find a school that's not just looking at me for the numbers, a spot where, I can get valued and, have a big role on the court, and just, be able to compete.
Joe, Brian Mariano filling in for Roger today. In my first year calling games at UAlbany, able to watch you this season, and especially that 46% from three, but watched you especially down in the post. And me and Roger had always said on the broadcast that you're so creative when you get into the paint. Is that something that you've continued to work on even throughout your college years at UAlbany?
Yeah, and first off, when I started playing, my high school career, basically what happened was, I didn't play AAU, but we still traveled and played in some different tournaments, and that's when we started, playing against some bigger height. And I think the first couple of games we played, I probably got my shot blocked about 15 times. And, for me then it was hey, how are you going to figure out if you're not playing above the rim? How are you going to figure out to maneuver different shots around big guys, throw off their timing, this and that. So the footwork, all that stuff that I work on is just all about, timing and, just finding different ways to get my shot off and still be comfortable at the same time. And some of it looks uncomfortable, some of it looks awkward, but for me it's just stuff I've practiced my entire life. So, but yeah, like you said.
Joe, I know with your release official now you can discuss some of these details, and I saw Jeff Goodman over the weekend had a list of schools that have shown early interest in you, and I love this. I find it kind of interesting. UAlbany played Louisville and West Virginia. Now, West Virginia was a scrimmage, but both teams are on this list as being interested in Joe Cremo. You obviously showed something against both programs that they seem to like. Louisville's in an interesting situation because they have a new head coach, Chris Mack, out of Creighton and Arizona and Ohio State and Louisville and UConn and West Virginia and Texas Tech and SMU. I mean, the list goes on, and I know it will grow. Do you feel like you've had stronger interest from one over the rest?
Right now it's just so early. There's definitely been some schools that have, texted me a little more, called me a little more, and it's all new to me. Like I've said to a bunch of these coaches, like, oh, this is new to me. And it's a little overwhelming. And it's funny you brought up, West Virginia. I said that to their assistant coach. I said, it's a little overwhelming, and it's all new to me. He goes, yeah, kind of like playing against the press down in Virginia, right? And I was like, this guy's really got to make that comment to me right now. And, since that list, I've heard from like Marquette, Seton Hall, and Texas, and Cincinnati. And it was funny, the same kind of thing with Cincinnati. When I got that call, I was like, man, I had my worst game of my college career. I had 8 turnovers against them, and but they didn't even bring that up. They were just talking about my toughness and passing to play the game, and just thought I made the right plays. And obviously they brought up the shooting and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's nice to have all the interest, but I think at the same time you got to just be smart and just take it all in one day at a time, and just find out, where you're valued most, where you fit most, and where I'm going to have a chance to have a big role.
Yeah, Joe, and we know you as your fiery competitor, and that you're a consistent worker, always working on your free throws, jump shot, and whatever it may be. What is it like now? The season's over, and you're still having these looks from this other schools. Are you still in the gym every day working on anything you can?
Yeah, so basically, even when the season was over, and now Friday when I start, Friday, Thursday when I start getting calls from schools, I'm still getting in the weight room with my high school coach and stuff, and getting in the gym with Dags. I was in the gym with him last night, and a lot of it, is I can keep my mind off some stuff, and I don't have to worry about it. And the other part of me is I'm paranoid if I, don't work out and I don't get in the gym, and that's just how I've kind of been. It's like a routine, and if I stop doing my routine, then I get really paranoid, I guess. That's the thing. So maybe some people call it crazy, and I just know how good I want to be, and I think I know how much work I'm going to have to put in to get to where I want to get to.
Working on Easter Sunday night, and mentioning two guys who will they find ways to motivate Coach G and Dags. There's no doubt about that. Joe, I know you had an exit meeting with your coaching staff at UAlbany, namely Coach Brown, of course, but Yachty and Pelletier and Knotts. How did that go? What were the discussions like? Did Coach Brown have an idea you were thinking about looking to move on as a grad transfer? And I guess, what is the status as you leave that program?
Yeah, like I said, it was obviously it was nothing personal. So when I left, Coach Brown was very shocked. The coaching staff was shocked. I think myself, the couple nights leading up to me saying, "Hey, I'm actually going to go through with this." I didn't really sleep much. I was nervous, and I'm a very loyal person. And at the end of the day, this might not look like a loyal decision to some people. So I had to deal with the fact, everybody's not going to be happy, but those meetings went, fairly well. Obviously, they're disappointed. They're upset that, I'm not coming back. And they understand, as a coach, how much value I brought to the team. And I just tried to be the best teammate I could be at every day in practice, and just tried to carry myself the right way on the court. And like I said, the decision was just about, for me, once in my life, just the decision was for me and what I think is best for myself. And, the meetings with coaches and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, as a coach, they're disappointed and sad, but, all of them, just talked about how, they're still going to support me and my decision, as much as it kind of hurts. But like I said, to them, I care about them like crazy, and I appreciate everything they've done for me. And, like I said, it was nothing personal. We went off on good terms, and they're going to be fine next year, and hopefully I'll be all right too.
They'll have 32 or 33 points per game to replace with you and David both leaving. Joe, as you look for the next program, what are the priorities? I'll take a small leap here and say I don't see you being happy playing 8 to 10 minutes a game, even if you're winning a ton of games. You look. I know you want to win, number one, but I also know you want to be an integral part of that. So as you look for the next step, what are the priorities as you make your decision?
Yeah, well, obviously, me being me, I don't want to play 5-10 minutes a game, but I also know, nothing's really guaranteed. As much as coaches will try and promise you this and that, or for me, it's trying to find out as much information as I can, who they got coming in, who's leaving, what role can I have, how do they see me, in their program, in their system. And so I'm finding out a lot, and I got good people in my corner that are talking to them as well, and just trying to figure out what's the best situation possible for me to have a big role on a team that can compete in the NCAA tournament and hopefully make a run and have a chance to play at the next level.
Yeah, Joe, you mentioned the NCAA tournament tonight, the national championship game with Villanova and Michigan. Watching these teams, who do you think can come out tonight and win the national championship?
Dang, Michigan's just playing great right now, and their defense has been phenomenal. And then you see a team like Villanova where they just come through the semifinal last year and put up beat Oklahoma by 40, and then this year it's like they just 20-piece Kansas, and it's like these guys are on a whole different level. Just the way they play, spread the floor, just unselfish and making the right plays. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. I got Villanova. Just like I said, the way they play, tough on defense, and then on the offensive end, they're very, very, very hard to stop. So I got Villanova. I don't know who you guys got, but I'll take my chances with Villanova.
Me too. I'm on Nova, Jay. I'm on Nova.
Yeah, see, well, now I got to be on Nova because they kicked the crap out of Kansas, and I needed Kansas in my bracket. So, I mean, the way Villanova shooting looks like Joe Cremo out there. So,
Joe,
Villanova.
Do you want to make a public play here on the radio to either Coach Beeline or Coach Wright? Both guys are no stranger to recruiting in the Capital Region.
Yeah, hey, like I said, I'm just looking for the best fit and, trying to find a coach that takes a chance on me, and I can take a chance on them. So, hey, if they're willing for it, then I'm all for it. We'll see what happens. So.
I love it. Well, look, since Roger isn't here, I'll do his job for him, what he would do. When you make a decision, Joe, call us first.
All right. Sounds good.
Joe, thank you, buddy.
I'm trying to keep everybody in the loop.
Yeah,
it's tough, but I will.
All right, man. Best of luck as you make your decision, and I know obviously we'll catch up with you down the road.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys.